Why being under the continuous care of your physician prior to your termination can help win your ERISA disability insurance claim. What happens when you are terminated by your employer? Well, one of the immediate consequences is that once you're terminated, you lose all of your disability insurance coverage. That can be problematic if you, after the fact, want to file an ERISA disability insurance claim, particularly if you were working while disabled. And I promise you there's going to be a fight about this particular claim. But generally, to prove your entitlement to ERISA disability benefits, you have to prove that you were working while you were disabled, as that term is defined by your particular policy or plan, and there are no uniform definitions. This is going to require medical proof that can be hard to obtain if you were working before your termination. And if you weren't getting any medical care, that's a huge problem. So continuous care by a physician prior to termination makes it a little bit easier. But there are two questions that the disability carrier is going to have. And the first question they're going to have is, what were your symptoms before you became disabled? And two, how did those symptoms impact your ability to perform the material and substantial duties of your occupation? Now, many disability policies or plans also require that you be under the care of a physician. And if you aren't, they can potentially deny the claim solely on that basis, that you didn't meet that policy requirement. Now, if you were getting medical treatment, they're going to closely review those medical records for the history of your symptoms, any discussion of how those symptoms impacted your ability to function, and what your physician might have said about your restrictions and limitations, your ability to work, and the kind of hours that you were able to work. A continuous history of care can show the severity of your symptoms, can show the impact those symptoms had on your ability to function, and give support for the after-the-fact argument that you were working while you were disabled. Now, there's another factor that you need to consider, and that is if you're not meeting the requisite loss of wages, you may not be entitled to benefits at all. So the easier thing to do, in my view, is to admit you're having trouble at work because of your medical issues. And that you might even ultimately have to file a disability claim. The second thing is to get out your policy and see what it is you have to prove to establish that you're disabled in terms of material and substantial duties, the definition of your occupation, and then understand, of course, your obligation to get care. Then I think you need to go to the doctor and be honest about your symptoms and your functionality, and have them address that. Now, if you're getting any sense that your hours are going to be reduced, your position's going to be eliminated, or there's going to be any termination issues, you should immediately call an experienced ERISA disability attorney, because we've got to move quickly. We want to, if we can, get the policy or plan. We want to review the medical records. We want to listen to your story about what's going on, about your symptoms and functionality, to help create a winning path forward. It might be that, for example, I call you and you speak with me and I say, look, you need to get your doctor to take you out of work now if you're getting a sense of that this is going to happen. And you better give them an accurate history of your symptoms and your functionality, the problems that you're having doing your occupational duties, and let's get a note that either reduces your hours to no more than 30, that's a policy term, or take you out of work. If you have any questions about your rights to ERISA disability benefits, particularly if you get a sense that you're going to be terminated or your hours are going to be reduced below 30, you're going to be put on a leave, you name it, call me today at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation. I can help you regardless of where you live in the United States and regardless of your carrier or medical condition. 727-894-3188.